today to be invited to speak with you. We have an abbreviated time. We have 30 minutes and a lot to accomplish. So the first thing that I wanted to do is thank NISCA and commend you for what I've seen the last couple of days. This organization has always had the ability to pivot when faced with challenges. And we heard earlier that COVID had so many effects on so many different facets, and this being one of them. Also included in that is when the D1, D2, D3 championships were held, when you were going to have your convention, how it related to the rules-making process. And this group took a chance, pivoted, met later, and look at the attendance. This is awesome. And the other thing I wanted to commend you about was the fact that when COVID and the pandemic was around in the early 2020s, this group took advantage of Facebook, and you created a community, and you problem solved together. And I also work with softball and water polo. I've not seen any kind of, I keep using the word pivot, but any kind of combination of efforts and community that you created in problem solving situations like virtual meets and all the problems that you were facing. You created that community on Facebook, and I saw it. And I remember talking with Pete and Diane what a great thing this was, and I don't know what the interaction or the membership of Facebook, whether it seemed like it drastically increased during that time, but I just thought, what a great thing coming out of such a horrible thing. What a great thing happened. So I just wanted to commend this group. You have always been very receptive to the NFHS and Becky Oakes before me, and I just wanted to say thank you. I appreciate you allowing me to be here and talk to you about the rulemaking process. You see a video up here. It's a three and a half minute trailer. I just wanted to show it to you. It has relevance to this group. It has relevance to the work between Dana and I as far as the journal, and also a new publication that we're putting out this year will be an annual publication. It's called Preseason Guide. Most of our other 18 sports at the NFHS do put together and publish a preseason guide. And there will be an ad for this particular documentary. It's a 90-minute documentary. A friend of mine from Indiana University, who's a PBS producer, put this together, took on this mission, and had just amazing vision about what it could be. It's a story about a young man who, with his single mom, moved to the Indianapolis area, and he had learned how to swim as a youngster, came to an inner city school, and they did not have a boys swim team. They had a girls swim team. They did not have a pool. So the beginning of the story is he advocated, and after a couple of years they got a swim team. But then this documentary goes into all the reasons that people of all nationalities, all what's the word I'm looking for? All nationalities, all types of living conditions, why some groups of people did not have access to swimming and to aquatic facilities, don't know how to swim, and what kind of dramatic impact that's had on access. And it's a great documentary. They did a national release on this thing, and they hope that the high school teams, club teams across the country will take this, purchase it in some way. I don't think the cost is big, but show it to their teams, use it as fundraisers, do whatever as they see fit. But the main idea is get the word out and talk about the fact that we all need to make sure that the ability to learn to swim is incredibly important. So, 3-minute trailer.
I remember being at the beach with my dad. He said to me as we stared at the ocean, you know, you don't have to fear the ocean, you just have to respect it.
I was standing on the ledge. I just, for the life of me, just couldn't get over the fear of the water. I thought my water literacy was where it needed to be in order to jump just let myself come back up. There's this moment that I remember vividly saying, "You're not gonna make it, let go. Just let go."
He had done that jump 1,000 times. He jumped, he landed badly, and he didn't resurface. And that was the last time I saw my boy alive.
Drowning is the leading cause of death by injury for children in the United States, ages 1 through 4. The second leading cause of death by injury for children in the United States between the ages of 5 and 14. And the third leading cause of death by injury for all Americans 24 and under.
There's fear rooted in trauma, fear rooted in lack of access, fear rooted in resources not being afforded to families.
A lady came. I was like, what is he even doing here? Shouldn't he be playing basketball? And my dad looked at me in front of her and said, don't you ever let anybody stop you. Ever. Ever.
There were distinct barriers that were put in place why people have the fear that they have.
I mean, there are lots of public health issues that require so much to make a change, whereas I feel like drowning prevention, actually we can move the needle pretty easily. Lately, I've been trying to lead with a message of the water is amazing and showing people the amazing things you can do once you're able to engage with the water safely and comfortably.
There are people that have a very dark relationship with the water. We represent a space that they've likely never seen before. Not only do we swim, but we swim really well.
I asked myself, why do I do it? Why do you swim, Summer? And I said, I swim because I love it. And then I looked up and there was a banner off to the right that said Barcelona 92 with the Olympic rings. I said, this is your last time in this pool at these games. Give it everything you have.
Swimming means limitless potential.
It has shaped everything about me. I don't know who I would be without swimming.
It changed the trajectory of my life. It provided me with resources that I never had before. Swimming has given me literally everything.
You can learn and empower yourself, but it doesn't really mean anything if you're not going to help others along the way. I want to really give back to my community because of those who have done the same for me.
The power of water. Pools can heal communities.
It's a very powerful message. It's a moving 90-minute documentary. I know that Hulu has picked it up. Peacock has picked it up. But in the advertisement, in the preseason guide, and that will be in the journal mid-July, we'll give a website and an email to contact the makers of the documentary if any of you want to show it to your clubs, your high schools. If you need any other information, please see me after this. But it's just, I went to the opening and it was powerful, and it kind of intertwined the Olympic level athletes with the beginning swimmer level athletes from across the country. And the inclusion involves disability. It involves Black and brown folks. It goes all over the country. It's really a neat film, so I highly recommend you take a look at that. All right, really quickly, rules writing process. I know this is kind of a dry topic after that amazing session that you just got done with, and I know you're anxious to get back and do a little bit more thought-provoking insight, create some insight. So this is a little bit about us. It's more so for the new people in the room. I don't want to be redundant to our veterans, but I want to make sure that you all understand that NFHS is a membership-driven organization. We are not a governance group. We are not like the NCAA. We create educational resources. We provide a national voice. We create a ton of different resources, 19,500 high schools across the country, and there are 51 state associations. Each one of those associations is somewhat autonomous. They are the ones that are the governance. They're the ones that create the educational eligibility requirements. They create their behavioral expectations. We provide the resources and the umbrella and the infrastructure, and again, the national voice in health and safety issues. Just so everybody understands that. Every one of those 51 state associations has the ability to adjudicate their rules in the way they see fit. They have the ability to follow our rules or not. And sometimes when our states do not follow our rules for a specific sport, that means they're not eligible to sit on a committee, a rules committee, which is why we're here, right? So we're going to talk about the rules making process, but I want to make sure there are some consequences for not adhering to our rules or rule code, but in general, most of our states do follow our rules. This is a little bit about what I just said, but we have 47 states that sponsor swimming. Okay, there are a few other states that sponsor high school swimming and diving state championships, but maybe they're run by their coaches association. A couple of them do not conduct state championships at all. We have 15 states out of that 47 that do not conduct diving. 15 states. And for as many as those state associations that conduct swimming and diving or just swimming, imagine there are that many ways to run a state championship. For everything from finals only to prelims, finals, to boys and girls together, to separate days, separate sites. You can't imagine. We jokingly call it herding cats. And so when the rules committee gets together, they have to thread the needle and create wording and rules for everybody from that 5-lane YMCA or hotel pool that maybe a couple of teams train out of, to the university facilities and everything in between. It truly is a huge gamut of people of athletes that we serve. And so the challenge when that rules committee gets together is to try to figure out wording that everybody can understand, that is fair for everyone, that officials can officiate, that administrators can administer, and the coaches can coach. It's crazy how complicated and hard it is. So we write 18 rules for 18 different sports. I'm going through this fairly quickly. That's an overview of our process. The process starts with a questionnaire that we send out to the membership. It involves one administrator who sends it out to all the coaches and officials that they determine is appropriate. Know that even in that case, some states choose a certain committee of coaches, their advisory committee, and those are the only individuals who are permitted to fill out the questionnaire. Others send it out to all of their officials, all of their coaches. So when we receive the results from and the response from the questions that we ask, those states that allow their entire membership to complete the questionnaire skew the rest of the results. We have probably 10 states that send it to everybody. It's great. Everybody has a voice. They feel included. But when you see it on your list of responses, those numbers sometimes have a bigger voice. And the committee has to be made aware of the fact that it's a tool. It's a tool, but it can't be an indicator of whether a rule should be passed or not. Oops, sorry. So it starts with the questionnaire process. Actually, I like to say it starts with the mid-season meetings that we have prior to the questionnaire. That's an opportunity for our administrators to get together and problem solve amongst themselves. Something that may be happening in California that's happening in New York. So they get on these mid-season meetings. They're all virtual, and they have an opportunity not only to problem solve, but it creates a community amongst those administrators. Visualize your state association administrator. How many of you know who it is in your state? A few. A lot of those state association administrators are tasked with running a state championship, and they may have never set foot in a pool in their lives. The person who followed me at the Indiana High School Athletic Association taught and was an athletic director at a private school and never been to a swim meet. And she was tasked with boys and girls swimming. So just know that these individuals may be out of their comfort zone and may have their heads below water, pun intended. So a little patience is appreciated. But this is an opportunity for them to get together. And I think the hope is there is a community created. I hope when I see 40 of them on Saturday at the Rules and Terp meeting that I'm not running into a buzzsaw and they're more interested in finding out about what other states are doing as far as the backstroke ledge. So the committee meets, we have the rule proposal, we consider the rule proposals, and then we send those proposals to the rules review committee, which I'm a part of. My 7 other colleagues. We meet after every rule committee meeting. We consider the proposals. We vet those proposals to make sure that they meet the mission and vision of the NFHS, that they obviously have provide risk minimization, all of those things that I talked about earlier, and then we send them on. If they meet our expectations, we send them on to our board of directors, who have 2 weeks to review the proposals. Typically, they send them to their constituents to review, and then if we hear nothing back after those 2 weeks, those proposals become rule. So the committee members are subject to silence. They cannot talk about any proposals that have been passed. We've talked about that in this room before, until the board approves those proposals. We talked a little bit about the questionnaire, so I'll go, I know we have a very limited time, so we'll just go through some of these. You will probably see these photos on some of our publications, not only in the Rule and Terp meeting, but I'll talk a little bit about that in a second. But the proposals, one of the things that I didn't talk about is once the proposals have been received by our office, they are sent out to the state associations for their feedback. There's an area for them to place comments, and they vote yes, no, neutral, not affected. But this is their opportunity to provide direct feedback to the state association, to the NFHS. Rules writing, we meet annually. Know that our committee is right now 12 members. The NFHS is in the process of adding additional members to the committee to make sure that those members or the committee represents the individuals we serve. So that includes inclusivity and diversity, either as far as the coach, official, administrator, or any kind of groups that we feel need to be represented during that conversation. But right now, our swimming and diving committee is 12 members strong. Some have asked, well, how do I get on a committee? We have 8 sections in our country under the NFHS auspices, and each section chooses the individual that they want to see on a particular rules committee. The committee member serves a 4-year term, and there are some sections that have 8 or 9 states. So it may take 50 years to receive representation on a rules committee. It's a matter of a rotation. Every state has an opportunity to submit a nominee, and then those nominees are selected by the board of directors. Actually, at this meeting, I'm getting ready to attend. And then we have we're provided the information who's going to be on the committee the following year, and it's good to be an advocate in your state. It's good to make certain that your state association knows who you are as a leader. You're obviously here, so you're leaders in your own states, but you need to make sure that you develop some relationships and advocate for your sport with your state association person. That's the way that you get your name known, and you hopefully get onto a committee someday. Okay, we'll move on. We have our annual meeting. Let's see, those are the individuals on the Swimming and Diving Rules Committee right now. And you can see you have a Texas representative. Grace McDowell has been great to work with, but we've got everybody from Minnesota to Wisconsin to Oregon to Nebraska, Florida. It covers the entire country. Part of the process of the Rules Committee is to develop and advocate with different constituent groups and different national governing bodies. Part of the deliberations involve our NFHS Sports Medicine Advisory Committee, and that is the group made up of 24 individuals from across the country, many of which are physicians and researchers in various states. When we have a situation such as the backstroke ledge, they weighed in several times. I had to make several presentations to that group to make certain that risk minimization was in effect and we were not putting our athletes in peril. So they do advise us, and actually they make a presentation to the committee before we go over the proposals. It's always great when you can develop relationships with the other NGBs. So prior to our meeting, I have conversations with our NCAA rule interpreter, as well as USA Swimming and USA Diving are represented by Jay Thomas, who used to have leadership roles in both those organizations, and now he works for, he's the technician, I can't remember the exact name, but he's a technician pretty high up in World Aquatics, and he's been a huge asset to our group. And obviously we have the representation of NISCA. We are, as far as I know, we are the only swimming and diving, we are the only committee to have a Coaches Association representative on our committee, which speaks volumes. There's a risk to allowing other voices in the room, but everyone from this group who has represented you at the committee meetings has always been respectful, always been helpful, and we've never had any issues with individuals misbehaving, I guess. That would be a better term. So these are the things that we focus on when we're looking at rule proposals. I talked a little bit about minimizing risk, sportsmanship, offense and defense, level playing field. We talked about that yesterday, I believe, in some of our conversations with the backstroke ledge. We have grassroots representation. These 9 tenets we talk about a lot as we're considering these proposals. Minimizing risk, but standardizing the competition. The backstroke ledge has provided a little bit of challenge for the Rules Committee because the competition is not standardized with the different facilities. We're at the not the risk, but we're at the mercy of the facilities that serve our athletes. And obviously not every pool meets the expectations of the 6 feet of water depth. And so there was a lot, we spent 6 hours this year talking about all of the idiosyncrasies and all of the variables associated with the backstroke ledge, including bringing in the researcher who conducted the second study, making a presentation and asking him questions. It was a grueling process. I think we covered everything, but you know, one of the major sticking points was, is it a level playing field? Are we able to offer this to our entire constituency? The answer is no, but the committee felt like the positives weighed more strongly than the negatives. And so that was one of the reasons that backstroke ledge was brought into being. Talked about that a little bit. These are my colleagues, and this is the Rules Review Committee. And we're the individuals that vet the first round of the proposals that come to us. And I did want to include just briefly some of the resources. Again, new individuals in the room might not know about these. We have 4 courses, I believe one of which has a fee to it, coaching swimming. That was one of the earlier courses, but we have a judging springboard diving course, which is free. Coaching swimming, again, has a cost to it. Coaching diving, I believe that one is free as well. And I think I'm missing one. Coaching diving, coaching swimming, judging springboard diving, officiating swimming and diving. Okay, so I would highly recommend you visit nfhslearn.com. No, is it com or org? I think it's org. Go to our site, nfhs.org, and you can get to learn from our site. So here are some things that you have at your disposal this year, some of which are new to all of us. The rule book is not. We've had a rule book every year, and obviously that's a diving score sheet. But new this year is the officials manual. That will replace the swimming, the officials manual for swimming, the officials manual for diving that we posted online for years. And there's an upside and a downside. The upside is it's professionally published now. The downside is there's a cost associated with it. There are multiple ways that you have access to this. Hopefully your state associations have ordered this for you as coaches, have ordered this for you as officials, and that they will provide that to you free of charge. Some state associations may purchase this document from us and then sell it to you, provide an opportunity for you to buy it. Some may purchase it from us and upcharge and then sell it to you as a way to get some revenue. You can go to the NFHS.com site and purchase it yourself. This is a 2-year publication. So the downside to that is we can't change it every year, in my opinion. So, but that's going to be new this year. And you can see July 1st. Here's the preseason guide that I told you a little bit about. That will be an annual publication. The cost to us is a couple of bucks. It will be available probably mid-July because I've got the last copy before it goes to the publisher right now. That's what I've been working on feverishly over there. We have video exam questions, rules videos, swimming and diving general survey that we conduct every 3 years and provide the results of that survey to the membership. We conduct mid-season meetings and diving judge versus diving referee calls. The number of resources has grown over the last couple of years. And by the way, these are all available on the nfhs.org site free. You just have to go to the site, click on the swimming and diving pages, and you can download this. Shout out to Don Mason. Anything diving, he created. The diving officials guidelines manual, he wrote that. The diving judge versus diving referee calls, he wrote that. The video exam questions for the exams, if your state uses our exam, he did that. Diving silhouettes, Don did that. Guidelines for virtual swimming and diving competition, he did not do that. 1 meter diving table with the video clips. This is like a diving score sheet and with live links. So coaches, if you don't know what a particular dive looks like, he and I did a couple of video shoots in Indiana back when we were much younger, and we selected the most accurate, the best dives that were in front of us, and there were some really good divers there. Just so if you can click on the link and see what the dive looks like when it's properly performed. Download it. It's a PDF. Download it and you'll have the links. Swimming and diving finish rules, best practices, that came about when we changed the rule about what constitutes a finish. And we were getting a few questions. Uniform rules, all of that. Coaching, the 4 courses, and you make the call diving videos. John and I were talking about this yesterday and today. NFHS Learn, go to NFHS Learn, and then there's an About at the top of the page. You click on that, officials, there's a little video icon, and there are 82 You Be the Judge videos that you can go watch the video, score the video, get the response of what it should have been, the range of the score, and why. So it's a biomechanical assessment of the actual dive. Very few people know it's there because it's not intuitive. We hope that will change with our new website our web pages that is supposed to go live on Friday. 2 days. So that might be really helpful for you, especially new coaches that are thrust into the world of diving. Okay, so 22 minutes. Where am I? 0 minutes. Oh, dang it. We were going to talk a little bit about what you all are thinking and what questions you have. I didn't really want to make this a sit and get, but because of the time constraints, I had to get the information out to you. I know your leadership is really thinking hard about where this group is going to go in the future. The great thing is we've had great, wonderful collaboration. I will go back and tell my colleagues, there is nothing like this group as it relates to the NFHS. We can have great conversations. We can talk about future rule changes. Yesterday was very eye-opening as far as the diving and some of the things they're thinking about proposing, not only TISCA, but for the rest of the country. So I know we're out of time, but right now, but if the leadership wants to or needs to contact me, I'm always available to talk, and happy to help and facilitate in any way I can. You probably have a lot of questions. I apologize, I'm sitting over there. When we're in breaks, feel free to come over and ask your question, but like I said, we have to, we're going to get to hear our speaker again, and then I think there's a push to clear out this room and clean it up for the banquet, for the luncheon. Any questions, really briefly?